We are jumping straight into a core research paper and a stack of case studies looking at time management versus energy management. And our mission today is to figure out why relentlessly managing the clock is actually destroying your productivity.
Right. And how managing your biological battery fixes it.
Exactly. I mean, think about your perfectly color-coded calendar. Every 15-minute block is optimized. But, your coffee is cold, it's barely noon, your brain is totally empty, and you just have zero motivation to execute.
Yeah, because that calendar is actually the root of the exhaustion. The sources point out a fundamental flaw in modern productivity. We operate under this false assumption that every hour holds the exact same potential for output.
Right. Which just isn't true.
Not at all. I mean, time is a finite resource that ticks down uniformly, but biological energy is a fluctuating, renewable resource. 1 hour of peak cognitive energy yields substantially better results than, say, 4 hours of low-energy grinding.
Okay, let's unpack this, though, because I've always viewed strict time boxing as, the ultimate professional tool.
Sure, block out 4 hours and grind.
Exactly. You shut out distractions, and you force yourself to work until it's finished. It almost seems undisciplined to abandon the schedule just because you feel a little tired.
But it isn't about feelings at all. It's about physiology. Pushing through cognitive fatigue just yields diminishing returns and high error rates. So to shift from managing the clock to managing the battery, the research introduces the Ultradian Audit.
The Ultradian Audit.
Yeah. Biologically, the human body operates on ultradian rhythms. These are natural physiological cycles lasting roughly, I'd say, 90 to 120 minutes. Your brain moves from peak alertness down to literal chemical fatigue.
And the sources highlight a really interesting CEO case study to illustrate this, right?
Right. She realized her standard 8-hour grind was producing mostly junk output.
Total junk. So she completely abandoned the traditional workday. She restructured her whole company's operations around these 90-minute high-intensity sprints.
Sprints, followed by mandatory complete rest. Rather than viewing work as a marathon where you conserve energy over 8 hours, you treat it as a series of targeted sprints.
So how do you actually implement this? The text outlines a pretty specific diagnostic.
Yes. So for 3 consecutive days, you track your energy levels every single hour. You just rate your focus and stamina on a scale from 1 to 10.
And you'll quickly map out a distinct pattern of your personal biological peaks and valleys. Which brings us to the energy map.
Right. The methodology here is ruthless. High leverage, deep work like writing, coding, complex strategy must be locked exclusively into your peak physiological windows.
And then you banish all the administrative work like emails, expense reports to your energy troughs.
Exactly. You never waste a biological peak on a low-value task, but mapping the tasks is really only the first phase.
Yeah, here's where it gets really interesting. Because how does this change how we stop working?
It introduces this concept called the Hemingway Bridge. The directive is to deliberately stop your work mid-sentence.
Wait, mid-sentence? Because, productivity systems are almost universally designed to help you clear your desk. The psychological reward comes from finishing a thought, right?
Right, crossing the item off the list.
Yeah, so stopping abruptly in the middle of a sentence feels like pure self-sabotage.
It definitely feels counterintuitive until you look at the underlying psychology, specifically the Zeigarnik effect. Human brains are literally wired to remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks far better than completed ones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So when you finish a task and clear your desk, your brain just dumps it from working memory. Starting a brand new task the next morning requires overcoming massive friction.
Like trying to start a freezing cold engine.
Exactly. Leaving the thought incomplete keeps the engine idling overnight. The Zeigarnik effect forces that unresolved tension to just simmer in your subconscious.
So when you sit down the next morning, picking up a half-finished sentence requires basically zero activation energy. It pulls you instantaneously back into a flow state.
Precisely. The overarching promise from these documents is leverage. By auditing your ultradian rhythms, mapping your deep work to biological peaks, and utilizing the Hemingway Bridge.
To eliminate that startup friction.
Right. You will systematically produce more high-quality output in 4 hours than most people manage in an 8-hour grind.
Because those meticulously scheduled blocks of time on a calendar mean absolutely nothing if the biological battery is dead.
Absolutely. So think about this. If you deliberately closed your laptop mid-sentence on your most important project today, how would that precise feeling of unresolved tension completely rewire your momentum tomorrow morning?
You've made it this far, so why stop now? There are 2 videos on your screen right now that are perfect for you. Just pick the one that looks most interesting and let's dive back in.